Excellent. Thank you very much to all of our speakers there. I mean, 10 years sounds like a long time, but when you put all that work together like that in that panel, you're actually wondering how they managed to squeeze so much into the last decade. It's a very impressive amount of work and many different elements there. But a key focus that has come through in these discussions and in this work, has been a central pillar of this work, has been the topic of school meals. And so that's why, for this next session, we're going to zoom in on this issue, particularly looking at the work of the Milan Pact and what it's been doing with the cities feeding the future of the School Meals Coalition. So we're going to dive deeper into what the new cohort of champion mayors are doing to ensure that school children receive at least one healthy meal a day. Now, just to say, we're not having a break, so just like a teacher in school, I would ask you all to stay in your seats until the end of the session, but it really is worth tuning into this one, as it is such a core pillar of the work being done here. So we're going to kick off with a word from the ones who are at the heart of this work, and that is, of course, the school children themselves. So let's watch a short video about their experiences.
Serve para muitas pessoas. Ajuda-nos quando saímos ao intervalo, comemos e sentimos o amor da pessoa que trouxe a fuga para cá.
Quisiera ver un durazno en mi plato. Todos comemos en alegría y paz y todos se sienten felices cuando llega la comida.
Across the world, children look forward to school, not just for lessons, but for nutritious meals that help them grow and succeed. The School Meals Coalition is dedicated to ensuring that every child has access to at least one meal a day, nourishing the potential of generations to come. School meals are more than just food. They are joy, energy, and a reason to strive. They are fuel for dreams and for leadership. These are the voices of our future leaders, children who are learning, growing, and building a better tomorrow.
Beğenimiz çalışırken ödev daha basit yapalım diye.
Whenever I'm playing the football, the white sandwiches make me play better than before.
Ban taɓa ba bari. Kawai dai muna yin haƙuri ne har lokacin da zai kai ana bamu.
Hvis jeg var statsminister, så ville jeg synes, det var vigtigt, at alle børn ligesom kunne opleve, at det er lige meget, hvordan man har det derhjemme, eller hvor mange penge man har, men lige meget hvad, så kan alle få muligheden.
Comme moi, je serai la présidente de la République, je donnerai à les enfants couscous, macaroni, akasa, chirim.
আমি প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে বলতে চাই, স্কুল মিলটা আমাদের অনেক গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করে। বিশেষ করে আমাদের एलाकाয় প্রায় 50% মানুষ পরিবার দরিদ্র।
मन्त्रीले पनि स्कुलको चौर ठुलो बनाउने, बच्चा-बच्चीलाई पढाउने, अनि नआउनेखेरि डाक्ने, पढाउने, खाना दिइराख्ने, अनि ठुलो मान्छे बन्ने.
Altså noget af det, som jeg synes, at alle lande burde gøre, det er, at de burde få det der med, at man skal være mere klimavenlig ind igennem fra maden, sådan så at det er, at alle børn kan lære, hvordan det er, at man for eksempel kan spise mad på en meget sundere og meget mere klimavenlig måde.
The future is already speaking, and it's full of promise, purpose, and power. One child, one meal, one dream at a time.
They finish learning, they know that there is food at the kitchen, they go and get things to eat.
Yes, it's a fantastic reminder of what this is all really about. And now let me pass the floor to a familiar face by now, to Filippo, for the next session.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. So this was the way in which we wanted to start this session, which is entirely dedicated to the effort of our cities that are leading the food system transformation through school meals. And this is the session of the Cities Feeding the Future initiative within the School Meal Coalition. I won't be alone in this session. There will be a first half of it in which we will call on stage colleagues that are working on the Cities Feeding the Future initiative that since 2023 was led by, is led by the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and also representatives from the other initiatives and from the Secretariat itself of the School Meal Coalition. So let me now anticipate what will go next, which is a political debate. So after that segment, I will call on stage political leaders that in their cities are doing extraordinary work to improve their school meal service for the benefit of their children. But let's start with the first segment, and let me call on stage Maria Jose Rojas, head of the School Meal Coalition Secretariat. Very, very happy to have you here, MJ. Then we have with us also Espedito Nastro, representing the Data and Monitoring Initiative. He will tell you more, but it's one of the other initiatives of which this, the coalition is composed. Welcome on stage. I also call on stage Ottavia, Pieretto, and Serena Duraccio of the Milan Pact Secretariat. The two of them are following the work of the Cities Feeding the Future, so please welcome on stage. And then we have Andrea Magarini, the director of the food policy of the city of Milan, and Giorgio Mariani from Milano Ristorazione. You will know more about Milano Ristorazione right now, but also tomorrow on the field visit. So if you haven't registered yet, please do register through the website, because there will be two very important field visits at the two most important kitchen centers of Milano Ristorazione. But I think you will be more curious about that while Andrea and Giorgio will talk. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to leave the floor to MJ, to Maria Jose, who is the head of the School Meal Coalition Secretariat, who will tell you more about what the coalition is, but also about a very important report, which is the State of School Feeding Worldwide, that I encourage all of you to read. Thank you, MJ. The floor is yours. You can, yes.
Thank you. Grazie mille for the invitation, for being here. It's just a pleasure. Before getting into, I'm really happy to be here because I've been asked to bring to you the good news. But before giving you the good news, I would like to bring all of us on the same page in terms of what is this School Meals Coalition that everybody is hearing about. Not sure all of us are really on the same page, so I will try to do that very briefly. When we all hit the COVID crisis in 2020, government and states start thinking about different type of solutions and the need to step up in addressing especially the issue of all of the children left out of school meals when accessing schools. From that moment onwards, many of them gathered together and at the margins of the Food System Summit in 2021 decided to establish the School Meals Coalition. At the time, we had 44 member states that joined at presidential or ministerial level towards the common objective of reaching all children by 2030. And the immediate objective they had was to bring back to school all of the kids that were left behind because of COVID crisis. At the time, we also had one initiative, that was the Research Consortium, that was established at the same time, and we also had some 50 partners that joined this movement back in 2021. Today, we have now 111 member states that have joined the coalition. We moved from 50 countries to 150 partners that have joined the coalition, and from one regional body, we now have 6 regional bodies. On top of that, we have from one initiative, we now have 4 initiatives. And here I want to pause just to explain you also the connection with the cities. Fundamentally, the initiatives of the coalition are established at the request of member states. So basically, just to be very, friendly language here. The member states came in and they say, you know what, you need the coalition to help us in addressing some issues. One of those was the data, so the research. They didn't have the evidence that actually could help them in taking informed decisions. That was the moment in which the research consortium came up and was established. They also start asking what are the financing strategies that we can apply in our countries to start addressing our issues, because it was clear that school meals were needed. They just didn't know exactly how to fund those programs. And the Sustainable and Financial Initiative was then established. Then there was another question about the data and monitoring. And how do we have harmonized data? How can we compare our data? What are the indicators that we should be using to measure our results? And that is the moment that the Data and Monitoring Initiative was established. And then there was a request and a need from member states to get the support of cities in advocating for school meals at regional and national level. There was a strong recognition of the work that you do in your own cities and how you can influence and advocate for those programs to move to the next level. And that was the moment in which the Cities for the Future initiative was actually established. Now, the coalition itself, as I was mentioning, is led by governments and is supported by partners. And it is led currently by 3 co-chairs. Those are France, Finland, and Brazil. And there is a decision-making body of 12 countries, and then the membership as a whole, that is the 111 countries that are actually moving and taking the actions in the implementations of these programs. So that is what, in a very nutshell, is the coalition and how it has moved forward during these last 4 years. Now, the good news that I'm giving to you is that we actually recently launched the first week of September, but then like very in a plateau where in Fortaleza in Brazil on the 18th and 19th of September, we launched the State of School Feeding publication. This is a WFP publication that is produced within the Data and Monitoring Initiative of the coalition. And basically the aim of this publication is to gather all of the data and present the status of school meal programs in the world. It is also contributions from the cities. So we are also, and we will hear that more, is trying to pull together the data also from cities towards the overall panorama. So now, because, I mean, I think I know by memory now the figures because they're fascinating figures, actually. But we prepare a PowerPoint for you, so just you can see them and follow my speech. So the first good news and the big message that we wanted to give is that since 2020, when we had 388 million children reached by school meals, in the last 4 years, there has been an increase of these 80 million approximately kids, and now we're reaching 466 million children. This data is worldwide, so it includes global and southern countries. The following message that we would like also to highlight is that the largest scale-up for this program has been observed in the low-income context. And this is very important because it means that actually this is taking place where the kids need it the most. So this is also a second message that for us is extremely important. The third message that we would like to see and to show is that we have been reaching the next slide, I think. Thank you. It's concretely 20 million more children from 66 million children. We went to 87, especially in the African continent. The last but not least message that we also would like to leave you is the global investment that there is happening in these programs. We started, next slide, thank you. We started in 2020, the global investment were around $43 billion. The second, 2 years after, that was when we had the State of School Feeding 2022, we saw an increase of $5 billion of investment in these programs. Now, in 2024, we have come to the $84 billion. That means that we are almost double investments within the globe in school meals program. And the other interesting data is that most of this investment, 99%, is domestic funding. So what is this telling us? Is that basically governments and countries are stepping in for their own programs. They believe that these are the programs that actually can move forward the human capital of their countries. So, but let's move next. So here is where the role of the coalition has been pivotal in keeping that momentum, in connecting countries and partners among them to actually move forward and understand where the needs are and how the coalition can support the achievement of the national commitment that all of the countries are putting forward. As I was mentioning in terms of the growth of the coalition, the interesting bit is that the 111 countries, they have signed a declaration of commitment, so they are part of the coalition. But already almost half of them has even developed national commitments within signed and recognized, again, at ministerial, if not presidential level. Those are national commitments into which each country is actually committing itself to achieve several things within the space of school meals. And those can be different areas. That could be partnership, could be coverage, could be local investment, could be food system transformation. You mentioned it's also health in terms of the dietaries and diversity of the diets. So it's, there is a lot of momentum in terms of what are the commitments and the belief that countries are putting towards these programs that is showing the coalition. The other thing that I find it very interesting as well of all of the data that I show you is that 2 out of 3 children that are today reaching school meals program sit in any school meals coalition country. So there is also the recognition of this network of networks, this new multilateralism way of partnering and mechanism that is actually working in the global space. So if we can move next. This is also very interesting because, and again, being very, very honest, there was a moment in which member states were saying, we need to have conversations at regional level. We want to see how that can be done. And so we start thinking about how do we do that, cascading in down, let's say, from headquarters type of school meals coalition setup, and how do we organize this region? How do we tell them how to do it? And it was fascinating because region had no intentions to hear how they were supposed to do it. They wanted to do it. And they organized themselves in a very speedy way, organized way, and thorough way. So what I can say is that definitely since the last big global summit that took place in 2023 in Paris, 12 regional gatherings have been happening in the ecosystem of the coalition, and they were led by the different countries. We had 5 concretely in Africa, 2 in Europe, 3 in Asia, 2 in Latin America. Interesting also to note that out of these 12 events, 4 were organized by the Cities for the Future initiative. So that is also where I see and we all see the value that you are bringing to the coalition. Member states at different levels, they're looking to the work that you're doing and they're prompting it into the policy space, the food system space, understanding how you do it at city level and how those can be brought at national level, but interestingly, also sharing among you is bringing knowledge and learning to other countries. So that is also one of the mechanics of this coalition that makes it extremely fascinating, the way we are working with you. The topics I wanted just to flag to you in terms of what are these regional gatherings discussing about. Africa is definitely focusing on how to fund their programs, how to make them sustainable, the programs. So they're looking now for technical assistance because clearly it is well understood worldwide, northern and southern, that this program brings success to the countries. But then the question is, how do we make them sustainable? Because it's not about just receiving the funding and then implementing the program and then what happens if you don't know exactly how to do it. And the learning of the implementation of these programs require a set of different activities that can go from data, from monitoring, from knowledge management, policy frameworks, guidance, legal frameworks. There's many, you name it. There are many streams of work that are actually at the roots of the school meals programs that require that technical assistance. So the coalition is working also to address that requirement that is coming from member states. We also say cases like in Latin America, there is a lot of momentum. Brazil is leading tremendously the work on the cities as well. We have just heard many of them have joined. Lately, Fortaleza, we also had them joining during the Fortaleza event as well, so I'm really pleased to see you here again. Belo Horizonte as well was there, so it has been very, very nice to see, but it's not only Brazil, of course, there's also other countries in the entire Latin American space that are gathering. Honduras hosted the last regional meeting. There is a lot of momentum that is actually happening also in that region. And also just not to mention, but in the meeting in Europe that it was organized by Ukraine, I understand that 6 Ukrainian cities have joined as well, the coalition. So again, those are spaces of networking, of connecting, of joining and understanding how you can leverage your potential, basically at larger scale. We can go next. This one is, it was really nice because for this slide, I got like 10,000 million talking points to give you that I'm not going to give you, but we will have all of the information that relates to each one of these areas. You can find it in the state of school feeding, but just in a nutshell, what we have observed and the reason why government stepped up back in 2020, 2021 was mainly because they realized that actually investing in these programs, it brings impact in many other areas because they are multi-sectorials. So what we know in terms of financing is that by investing $1 in these programs, average among the globe, you will get a return between $7 and $35, which means in any of these areas. So what we're saying is that social protection, for example, we know school meals act as the largest safety net mechanism in terms for the countries. When we go and speak about the health of kids, definitely this is ensure that they get, especially girls, for example, we address issues of anemia, and you get them fed in a way that they can then actually attend school, learn, understand, pay the attention, grab the attention because they're not hungry, fundamentally. So then you also have impact in economy and agriculture. It's just not to say we're impacting all of the supply chain mechanism, the local agriculture. You start with a homegrown school feeding. There's a program that happens within the school. You teach kids how to grow the food, and many times they grow in their schools. And then there's always a surplus. That surplus goes to the local community. The surplus of the local community goes to the region to the country. So there is a boosting of all of this mechanism that happens at food system level. There's also, for example, the communication, the relationships among other countries in the exchange of all of these products and the food. So there are many impacts that we don't tend to consider. The belief that school meals is about simply and only feeding children is gone. We have moved forward, and we know that is actually we're talking about human capital when we're talking about these type of programs. And again, the cities are working towards different type of programs. All of those that are working on school meals are massively contributing to this agenda. I will go to the next slide. And this is actually the final slide from my side. And I'm prompting already the conversation that is going to come. But the Data and Monitoring Initiative, that is one of the initiatives of the School Meals Coalition, is not only accountable to produce the State of School Feeding publication, but is also accountable for the development and now implementation of the new database for school meals program. This is again an answer, a concrete answer that comes at the request of the member states. The need of having harmonized data, common indicators, same way of reporting against the programs. It was a request that came from the governments. And so this initiative has been working thoroughly in the production of this database. Again, also this one was launched just last month in Fortaleza. And I understand now we're going to go through a conversation. My colleagues will be able to dive on that conversation. Thank you very much. For any questions, I will be around after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MJ, for presenting the great work of the School Meal Coalition and also from the other initiatives. The state of school feeding worldwide, it's it's very interesting. So once again, I invite you to read it. And also, please go to the School Meal Coalition website, because you can see there the commitments that the head of countries already submitted. So you can also start thinking and working at a local level within the national framework, within the national commitment of that your government did and submitted to the School Meal Coalition. And about the commitments, we will also talk about that at the end of this session, because we will present a new activities of our initiative, which is the mayoral's commitment to the School Meal Coalition. So you talk a lot about the importance of data, and also you gave us a taste of it while presenting the state of school feeding. So now I would like to ask, maybe in a dialogue, if you wish, to Expedito and Ottavia to show the evidence that we can give through data and to the important work of countries and cities. I leave the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Filippo. Indeed, MJ, also thanks to you for setting such a wonderful scene. I think it's amazing to see the results. And you already gave some spoilers of what we are going to talk about. So I would like to ask Expedito if you could tell us why the School Meals Coalition has decided to launch the data and monitoring initiative, and what are its objectives.
Yes, thank you, Ottavia. Thank you, Filippo and MJ, for the previous conversations. I'm really happy to be here. For me, it's a pleasure to become part of this conversation. I think we need to make a step back to explain why the data monitoring initiative was created. MJ made already like a spoiler, but when the School Meal Coalition was launched, governments realized that data around school meals was scattered, was belonging to different institutions, but most importantly was not harmonized, meaning that not necessarily was comparable. And this was creating like a big gap in knowledge, because some of the basic questions that we want to answer, for example, like how many children are receiving school meals in the world, what is the coverage of school meals globally, and how much, for example, governments are allocating to school meal programs. These questions, of course, were not necessarily being answered. So it was difficult. It was recognized by governments that this was a gap, and that's why governments expressed this need for creating a trustable, institutionalized source of information that could help governments, but in general, all of us tracking progress of school meals in the world. So the idea was to create like an harmonized data architecture that would have allowed for the data gathering around these basic questions. Also because in many contexts, countries are already doing a lot in terms of school meals. And imagine what a loss would be not to make these programs visible. And so this is also another reason why we should also invest in data and monitoring. So that's how basically the data monitoring initiative was born, with the objective of making data available, first of all, and accessible to everyone, which would allow us to, of course, measure progress, track all the achievements that we are making, as they were explained before as well, and to be able to compare and to have one source of data which is trusted by all of us. Last but not least, the data monitoring initiative is also the mechanism to track the progress of the coalition. So the School Meal Coalition as a whole has established data monitoring initiative also as a monitoring mechanism to make sure that all the achievements of the coalition are achieved.
Thank you for this clear answer, and I'm sure that people in the audience are wondering what is going on in the screen, what are we seeing? And indeed, it's one of your biggest achievements. It's really a great tool. It's a global database, but can you tell us about it? What are we exploring behind us?
Yes, absolutely. So the School Meal Coalition database is the heart of the data monitoring initiative. It's also the most tangible way of looking at the objectives of the School Meal Coalition. Because with the database, we bring together in one place data from different sources. So from national governments, we bring data together from our partners, from international institutions, and it's all here in one platform, which deems to be the global reference of data on school meals. If you visit the database, you also be able to see, for example, the latest statistics that were mentioned before in the presentation about how many children are currently receiving school meals in the world. You can see the first indicator there is children receiving school meals, 466 million, the number that we have seen before. So it's a place where you browse the latest available information on school meals and additional topics as well. So if we see the second row, we have school meals, we have education, we have funding, policy, nutritional quality. And here I just want to really thank all the members of the DMI, because thanks to them, we are shaping this vision of what is the content of the database, what is the vision that we want to achieve for the database, and together with them, we decide what are also the metrics that we should look at when we talk about school meals. So the database is really like a one-stop shop where you can access all this information, you can access the latest publication. We are keep improving it by adding new functionalities. Now you can, for example, create country reports with the latest snapshot for each country in the world. You can browse the latest publications, you can browse data, and you can download data. So our public is really wide, ranges from researchers who want to make a research up to policymakers and partners. And of course, the last point, which is the most important point that we need to mention, is the fact that we have, thanks to our collaboration with the City Feeding the Future initiative, being able to integrate data from cities. So as you can see from the landing page, we have different levels of analysis, ranging from the global view to the regional view, but now we have added a city view where you can browse all the information provided by all the cities when it comes to the scope of their school meals programs globally. I really want to thank all the mayors here who have provided all this information, because it's thanks to this information that we have been able to improve the granularity of the data that we have on the database. But also, I also want to recognize that this data is really impressive in terms of detail. It goes really from the number of children receiving meals to the funding, to the procurement types, to the models, to what children receive every day. So I really want to congratulate all of them, and I think this is really a good sign of how data can help us make visible what is going on in the countries.
Thank you very much, and maybe, yeah. Sure.
Actually, now I have a question for you, because for us it has been a great collaboration between the Data Monitoring Initiative and the City Feeding the Future initiative. I was actually curious to know also from your initiative perspective how the database has been received. and how do you think it can support the work of the initiative and of the Milan Pact?
Absolutely. I mean, how cool is that we can see all the cities that have been really leading school meals programs, ensuring healthy school meals is amazing. We can see our hosting city here, and basically the work that we have been doing thanks to the collaboration and within the Cities Feeding the Future initiative was both through surveys, and we also want to thank the cities for providing us the data, but also from our best library that are the MPA. So everything that has been submitted in these years on school meals, and thanks to this data we were able to enrich the database, and now we'll leave you for the next days to play a little bit with it, because it's really amazing to discover. And I think that the role of cities in the global database is pivotal, also to see how within the same country there could be very different school meals programs, because the context can be different even within the same region. So it's really fundamental that it's possible now to showcase how much of a variety there is, and to have a tool that is not only to be used by us, by the cities, but is also a tool that we can bring to national governments, to international governments and organizations, and saying, look, this is what cities are doing, we need to support them. So we're very happy about this.
Thank you. So thank you, Spedito and Ottavia. Please play it with the database, because there is a lot of effort behind it. And you have seen in the database that there are some specific, let's say, points, dots in the map, which are the champion mayors, so the mayors and the cities that are championing school meals. Among them, there is the city of Milan, and in particular the Vice Mayor Anna Scavuzzo, who is in charge of the food policy and the school meals program in Milan. And together with the Research Consortium, that is another initiative of the School Meal Coalition that MJ presented you, we have developed a template for the city's case study, because up to now there were national case studies done by Research Consortium, but as the city's role is growing in its importance, then we decided to develop a new tool with the Research Consortium, a new template, and we started by piloting the Milan case. But for that, I will leave the floor to Andrea Magarini.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you very much. And again, it's a truly honor having all you here in this room and be part of this session. As Filippo mentioned, the idea of working together with the WFP and together with the School Meal Coalition on this topic is try to connect cities and government. And as the Research Consortium of the School Meal Coalition have done many case studies of national commitment and on the national efforts on school meals, what we are trying to propose and already done is try to define, again, together with the Research Consortium, a model, a framework as well for city case studies, because also at city level we can engage all the practices and all the model in order to try to expand the knowledge on the city's effort on school meals program. So this is the cover page of the case studies of Milan, and also with all the different table of content. And you can see that there is, of course, a very simple way to explain how a school meals program is organized. So to present a city profile, a really clear description of the school meals program, the objective, the models, the type of infrastructure, the coverage, the guidelines on healthy diets at the national level or at local level, the responsibility, who is responsible. Many times also when we talk each other as cities, there are a kind of 10 minutes just to understand who is responsible, who is doing what, and so throughout a model that can compare city with other cities, for sure can be more easy work on that. And also to explain to other partners. So, this is not only about Milan, because as mentioned, is a series of case studies that we want also to scaling up together with the other champion mayors. But start to review a little bit this case of Milan. As you know, in Milan, school meals is a very historical public service. We started in 1900s, and this is the image of the mayor, Mussi, at that time, that decided to have this school meals program, and you can also read inside the preamble of the City Council Act that was a moral duty having this kind of social protection. And as MJ mentioned before, the first level of one of the slides is school meals is a social protection driver. It's very important, taking into consideration that it's not only speaking about education, not only speaking about providing and supporting food, but it's a powerful tool for a social protection, because in all of our dining area, in all of our school canteens, all the children of our city can eat together, taking out all of their family condition, economic situation, neighborhoods, everything. They are eating together. So the school is in the front line of the civil protection of our children. And since 125 years ago, everything changed. For the first 100 years, the city of Milan managed directly the service. Now we have a wonderful municipal agency, an in-house company named Milano Ristorazione. All of you already are very, very familiar with Milano Ristorazione because they serve us, support us in all the lunches and break of this global fora. And so we have proved directly the powerful and the quality and the smiley of all of our persons from Milano Ristorazione. Some of them are also here in the room. And together with them, we are improving all of our school meals infrastructure. Here there are some of the elements and of course some of the dots in our cities, just to have an idea how a school meals program is well spread all around the city. So all the blue dots are canteens, are dining area, all the red cross are neighborhood kitchen centers. The green dots are some of our local farmers that are producing some food for our procurement. The rice, the yogurt, the potatoes, the carrots are coming inside the boundary. And within our food policy department, we have an agricultural unit that are supporting to do good contract with the farmers, because these farmers are as well within the ownership also of the municipality. So, here are some data on our school meal service, but as being the chair of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, the City of Milan is also a living laboratory of school meals, you know. Some of you already took part in some visit here in Milan. In this map, you can see more than 50 delegations that in few years coming in Milan to see our infrastructure, to go together with our colleagues of Milano Ristorazione, in some of the kitchen center, in some of our dining area, in our central warehouse, just to see how it really works, a school meals program. So 50 cities of the Milan Pact already have took the opportunity to be here and to enter inside our school meals program. And as well, we are going in other cities. So there are some cities in which this kind of exchange are already well advanced. We are doing many innovations in our school meals program. Just to mention 3 of them, everything concerning procurement. Together with the WRI, entering in the Cool Food Pledge initiative, we were able, since the beginning of the food policy, to understand the environmental impact of our procurement choices. And so here you can see the reduction year after year of the GHG emission based on the procurement and based on the decision of our menu. And behind the decision, there is a very long process that engage many of us, the municipality, Milano Ristorazione, our public safety agency, and also parents. Because in Milan, in our system, parents are part of our school meals program. We have done, since 2019, but also before was already active, a group, a very committed group of parents that are working together with us to do control in the canteens, and also to establish a permanent dialogue among the triangular between the municipality, Milano Ristorazione, and these parents. Nowadays, there are more than 1,400 parents that are taking part in this process, organizing in more than 80 school commissions, and each 2 years, among them, there are elected 18 of them that are part of a city committee. Some of the persons are here of this committee, and we have a constant relation with them. And also when we do the new menu, we have a seasonal menu, winter and summer, we engage with them, and also we explain the decision and why we are changing toward more plant-based diets. And this is the reason, because in only few years we were able to decrease the 36% of GHG emission of the school meals procurement. It's a very, very huge, important results. And together with us, after being part with the WRI initiative of monitoring like this, the program, also the city of Copenhagen, Washington DC, New York, Madrid, Toronto, and Ghent entering this program, and they are doing the same exercise to be able to understand how we can decrease our impact. Of course, our main focus are children that are eating our school meals every day. And so we have done a very, very good job to renovate our dining area. We renovated throughout an Horizon project named Food Trails, was already mentioned this morning, and the pilot that we had done in Milan was a nudging activities to understand how we can renovate our dining area to become more comfortable for children, and also to engage in a new relation also teachers. Because if you can see a new dishes is only a dish, but if you can see a dishes in a fully renovated dining area, it completely changed the perception of a service and of a space. And of course, trying to have new food education and active learning activities. The city of Milan and Milano Ristorazione have done a lot of work in order to be able to expand the dimension of these public services. In this picture, you can see visit to some of our farmers, so they can see exactly the field where the rice is growing. You can see some teaching activities in classrooms, some training from our chefs. You maybe can recognize one of the chefs that were also in the lunchtime, and also other activities that can be engaged and establish new relations also with parents, with principals, and with the teachers. It's very important because based on this school meals program, again, social protection driver, we can establish new relations with all the actors that are being part on this journey. And again, we have an incredible team in all of our organizations. So Milano Ristorazione are more than 800 chefs and 2,400 service staff that daily are working for implementing the school meals program. We have a control unit as a municipality that daily go in the kitchen center to do a checklist of the quality. And so together we are trying to transform our local food system, starting from the school meals program. Again, we are only at the start of this series of case studies. Here there are some pictures of our champion mayors. It's a little bit of spoiler of tomorrow, but the idea is that together with the School Meal Coalition and the Research Consortium, being able to commit some local researcher in all of our champion mayor cities and do similar case studies to show how the school meals program in our city can really transform our local food system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for this incredible journey and deep dive into the case study of Milan, which is already available on the website. And this is one of the different activities and products that we are releasing within the Cities Within the Future initiative. As Andrea mentioned, and I will say also at the end of this session, there is the commitment to develop more of those studies, so all signatory cities can have the same sense and information also from the other champion mayors. Thank you very much, Andrea. So let's now move to another kind of activity and way in which we support the cities in providing healthy school meals. We are doing this thanks to the important contribution of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and together with the ASEAN Secretariat. But to know more about what we have done with cities in Asia Pacific, I leave the floor to Serena in Giorgio.
Thank you, Filippo. So as you have heard in the previous session, also one of the key projects that we developed within the MUFPP and within the Cities Feeding the Future initiative has been this project called Spreading Experiences and Knowledge on School Meals Programs in ASEAN Cities. So this project was developed together with ASEAN thanks to the precious support of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation. And the aim of this project was indeed to spur knowledge on school meals programs for city officers from ASEAN member states. And this project lasted around 1 year, was made up of different phases, but one of the key phases was a summer school that we developed actually in Bandung, in Indonesia, thanks also to the colleagues from UNPAR that kindly hosted us, and where we really tried to provide to city officers with knowledge about school meals programs, how they could improve or in some cases even start school meals programs. For example, in the case of Indonesia, the cities from Indonesia have the need to start these programs, and they were starting from scratch. So we provided some knowledge, trying to really cover all the fields of action, going from procurement to food waste reduction, but also the development of menus. So we're really trying to give them an overview of all the key aspects of developing a school meals system. And we had a great feedback from cities, because we had the participation from 29 cities from 8 ASEAN member states, which was a great result. And then in the next phase, cities had to develop a project on how they wanted to improve their school meals program. And among all the projects that we developed, the next big part was identifying the most promising ones. So thanks to an evaluation and advisory committee, we identified 6 cities that George is gonna present after, that have been supported from our side, thanks to the kind support also of Milano Ristorazione, in developing some feasibility studies. And so now I will leave the floor to Giorgio from Milano Ristorazione, and he will tell us a bit more how you developed these studies.
Okay, thanks, Elena. As Elena mentioned, there were 6 cities that were selected, and 3 were in Indonesia, and 2 in Thailand, and 1 in Vietnam. The cities had different focuses in their project, with Hoi An focusing on food education, and Chiang Mai mainly in food safety, while Bangkok and the 3 Indonesian cities of Bandung, Denpasar, and Semarang, as Serena mentioned, had to start from scratches with new school meal programs, and their focus was mainly on having the layout for the new kitchens as well as food safety. So what we did was actually move on with a plan of what an actual kitchen should work for having all of the main and most important elements to provide that the production of food and meals was done in a good and reasonable way. And we also took into consideration that most of the cities were in earthquake-prone countries, so of course we kind of tried to get rid of most of the free flames and other machineries that could pose a risk in case of earthquake or other natural occurrences. And each kitchen is designed to minimize, if not completely erase, any kind of mixed flows, so that everything from the outside gets in and slowly moves forwards until as a produced meal can get out and be shipped to a school canteens. So as you can see in these slides, you only have a few fluxes crossing together, but they happen in different times of the production. So there is actual never real-time crossing between working. And another important aspect, as we said, was the safety and security checks. The safety checks does not only happen within the production center, because they start way back forward into the suppliers field. So there can be audit to verify if the producers actually follow the laws and the rules that are stated in the contract between the municipality or the food producers and the suppliers. Then there's also a huge amount of safety and quality checks within the production, from how the raw materials are received, stored, and manipulated, and how food is produced, shipped. And finally, the very last but extremely important check happens at the very last stop, meaning when the food is delivered to the school. Because, of course, we want the meals that we produce to be healthy, tasty, and also safe. And all these studies were brought out in, this part was the general part for the kitchen. We also dived a bit deeper in the canteens that were not specifically mentioned in the focus, but as Andrea said, we made a huge effort in renovating our school canteens. But we didn't only try to make them more pleasurable to see, which is also a good point and helps a lot, but we also turned them into educational facilities. As you can see in the photo on the right, you have some panels, in this case hens laying eggs, because in every canteen we developed specific panels depicting a menu item, so that when kids get either a brand new dish, as Andrea was saying, or an old one, they are able to understand where the dish comes from, how it is made, what are the raw materials, and they also get more involved in the actual production and also in the local community, because as Andrea said, we have some local farms. Same happens in Indonesia. So the kids will also learn what the local products actually are and how are integrated into the cultural and dietary aspect of their daily life. And given that, there is also a nice thing that's happened before while having lunch. Our colleagues from Indonesia told us that they already started building some of the kitchens based on the feasibility studies. And I think that this is maybe the best proof that the feasibility studies were actually feasible, were not just some academic exercise or a nice and neatly printed chunk of paper, but actually something that could be made and is being made for the better good of the kids of the places where they've been built. So thanks for the opportunity, and we are looking forward to new chances and challenges from the MUFPP. Thanks, Lorena.
Okay, and let me add one last thing, that thanks to the kind support of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, we are happy to announce that we'll have a follow-up project of the one that we just talked about, where we will indeed try and make and turn this piece of paper basically into reality. And as Giorgio was showing you, these are really actually implementable, and that's what we want to do, go a step further and really try and support our city in implementing this project. So thanks again for all your support, for the support of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and from all our partners that have contributed in the project. And well, we are really looking forward to going ahead with this, let's say, next phase of the project, and we hope to have all the cities on board for this. And I will give the word back to Filippo.
Thank you. Thank you, Serena and George. So you had also a taste now on how the products of our initiative go into details to support cities. So it's the feasibility studies are in-depth studies that are immediately implementable by the cities, as you have seen. So the next phase will be try to unlock fundings for make the plans happening and start providing healthy and nutrition food. And with this new project that Serena just announced, we would like to give this support. So all cities in ASEAN that you are here with us, stay tuned because we will reach you out and continue together this journey. So thank you very much and looking forward for the development. Great, so now it's the second segment of this session. So thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause while leaving the stage. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. And as I mentioned at the beginning of my session, now there is the political debate. So I would like to call on stage Lydia Andrade Lourinho, Secretary for Early Childhood, representing the city of Fortaleza, Brazil. Please welcome on stage. Yes. Papa Mamadou Fam, President du Conseil départemental de Rufisque. Welcome. Julienne Alison Ray Velonso, from Quezon Cities, the Philippines, City Councillor. And Gauthier Chapuis, Deputy Mayor of Lyon. Please, welcome on stage. So why are they here? They are championing, as I mentioned, school meals program, and that's why, thanks also to the practice that they have submitted to the Milan Pact Awards, they become champion mayor of the Cities Feeding the Future initiative. So what does it mean becoming champion mayor? From one side, of course, it's an important recognition, but from the other side also is a commitment to improve and also a commitment to share, which is the true aim of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. So they will have also the burden of supporting us in sharing their best practices. Let me just mention that in 2023, the first cohort of champion mayor were Addis Abeba, Bangkok, Copenhagen, Montpellier, Milan, Nairobi, Seoul, and São Paulo. In the meeting that MJ mentioned before in Fortaleza, we also announced the city of Belo Horizonte and the city of Fortaleza to become champion mayor. But let's now start with the political debate, and I would like to, in particular, to start before giving the word to our guest with a video. And this video comes from the mayor of Semarang, Indonesia, which is also being appointed as a champion mayor. And in this video, she will tell, it's just 1 minute, but she will tell more about her commitment. So if we can play the video of the mayor of Semarang.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Agustina Wilujeng Pramestuti, Mayor of Semarang City, Indonesia. It is an honor for me to share Semarang commitment in advancing sustainable urban food policy. Semarang City fully support for free nutrition meal programs as a part of our effort to improve the quality of Indonesian human resources. To strengthen this, we initiated a program called Detective Pangan or Food Detective, which aims to instill diversified, balancing, nutritious, and safe eating habits among children. We are very proud that this initiative has been recognized by MUFPP and that Semarang has been selected as a champion mayor. This recognition encourages us to continue support the school meal programs in Indonesia. As part of our commitment, we would like to invite all MUFPP city members to Indonesia to take a part in the national dialogue on free nutritious meals. Thank you.
So let me announce that this is the first commitment, the city commitment that we have received. So it comes from the city of Semarang. The mayor committed to improve their educational activity in the city, thanks to the program Detective Pangan. And also, as a champion mayor, they commit to host the first national dialogue among the Indonesian government and the Indonesian cities signatories to the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. So let's now move to Fortaleza. And we were there, and we were very happy to be there just 3 weeks ago in your beautiful cities. And we knew how the mayor, Evandro Leitao, is committed to improve their school meals program, as he has recently announced some major improvement and a reform of school meals. So can you tell us more about that?
Oh yes, good afternoon to all. And it's a pleasure to stay here, represent Evandro Leitão, our mayor, and principal talk about the new program in Fortaleza, about school meal. Principally, the importance that a good meal and a half meal have for children to grow up, to learn more. And Fortaleza has a different program. In August, 1st August, we implement a new program, redesign the school meal menu. Since August, our 270,000 children enrolled in the municipal and affiliate schools have been enjoying more nutritious meal with more protein every day, in line with the recommendations of the national school feeding programs in Brazil. The menu has been given a new lease of life. On Monday, we serve a meal denominated Baião de Dois. Is rice and bean, fantastic, and we serve it with a protein, eggs, chicken, and farofa, okay, and some vegetables. And the fruit is we call sobremesa, to dessert, okay, and Baião de Dois is a typical food of Ceará. And everyone like Baião de Dois. It has a sentimental memory. It's our culture. It's like a homemade meals. On Monday, okay? I will talk about Monday and Friday, because on Friday we serve a pratinho, denominated like this. It's very, very common to eat pratinho in Fortaleza. It's a cream chicken, and rice and vegetables. And it's so popular. If you walk in Fortaleza, every place you go, we see someone buying pratinho or sell pratinho. In June or July is more common because it's Festa Junina, it's a party in June, and everyone eats pratinho in Fortaleza, okay? We could see that Monday and Friday, everyone go to school. Everyone. The frequently, it's increasing. So everyone go to school. And in the middle of the week, the children can choose what they eat. Has a menu with food in each days, and the children can choose what they eat. is like an opportunity to to listen the children's opinions, and the children's feeling important, okay? And normally, the reformulation goes beyond nutrition, and we know that the early childhood, for early childhood, is very important, eating well. Eating the school meal is health and nutrition. And we saw together that all these habits, these new habits at school, go to house, and the children ask for the mother the same food that receive at school. And in our program, the professor and all equipe of the school eat together with the children, the same menu. This is very good because the professor, they look for the quality of the food. It's a very important action to the good and health and nutrition school meals in Fortaleza. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we had the pleasure to see what she just represent. The children are at the center of this reform, together with all the educational community, with parents and with teachers. So that was great to hear what we just saw 3 weeks ago. Thank you very much. Let's now move to Rufisque, Senegal, with the president, and I would like to tell all of you that the Council since 2016 had a project which is called Alimentaire Territorial, aimed at preserving agricultural areas and better link the agricultural area to the markets for their residents, for the benefit of their residents. In Senegal, only 13% of schools are equipped with canteens, but Rufisque is a pioneering city in school meals. So can you tell us the key element of your innovative model and how you forged partnership with local producers and processors? Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much to the Secretariat for giving us the opportunity. Exactly the school. When we have started this program on our territory, it was indeed with this idea that the canteen could act with a different role in our food system. And I would like to remind you that in our country, indeed, it's no habit to have a territorial food system. Alors, indeed, the department, Conseil Rufisque, the capital of Dakar, of Senegal, has indeed a pilot department that indeed has the only departmental role. And therefore, this is very important. As I was saying, we started in 2016 with the idea that a canteen could be a way to have a different food system. And we started testing the autonomous, 4 autonomous canteens that are installed in the schools. And at the time, with the committee of management, department. We had relations with the producers. And when we talk about the producers, we talk about the products that are processed products or agricultural products. And we started these with these new relations. And after 3 years, we have seen also in 2019, we were able to know that the canteens contributed to improving the level of learning of the students, and therefore good meals had a good impact on the learning. And we had known this because working with the academy of our department and the committee of our department and our territory, it was important indeed that it was necessary then to demonstrate and test our method. And so we have also considered the limits of this system that existed indeed, and the limits concerned the infrastructures of the canteens, and so we have decided indeed to act locally to adapt the infrastructures because they were not appropriate and did not comply with the needs that were present also regarding the food supply. And we thought about the economic sustainability of the producers that was not present, and so the quantities that were distributed were very small, and also the pathways of delivery was too long. And so we have understood the implications for the collectivity, for the community. And when I talk about collectivity community, I'm talking about the different municipalities that make up the territory. So considering all this, then we have thought to reprocess a model and to introduce a central cooking model. So everything started from a central kitchen with indeed local adaptations in order to produce and deliver in the same way, starting from the central cooking center, so cooking state. So we started also delivering greater quantities, checking the quality in order to share with parents and the local community the quality and quantity of foods and to make them participate in this program. And we started then with this central kitchen with a capacity of 2,100 maize and meals. And so we have also implemented a governance committee that could think about orientation, that could share the results. So these happened at, there are other communities that have adopted our model with this central kitchen with a capacity of 1,000 meals per day. So we also have other committees in order to actually share this program within the department, and the representatives were involved, the parents, local collectivities, local communities, with the implications with respect to producers and with respect to the policymakers. So this has had a very important impact. And so what I would say is that all these has allowed us to build better relationships and better local economies with solidarity and better relationships with the producers and with the students, with the children, and with the educational system. This is a model that gives us very satisfying results. And I can finish with this, and I would say that this model has shown its economic value and has been funded by different government subsidies, and we participate as a community, and the same with their parents and students, the enterprises. Everybody has its own responsibility, but all this is compensated by this network that allows us to have an effective implementation of this project to reach our objectives. Thank you very much. It was very difficult to recap such an important program.
For sharing this, all the chain and also this very interesting model. I am confident that you will make like this information like available also for other cities, so that we can support together. We can support other cities that are interested in the very interesting model that you are developing in Rufisque. Thank you very much. So let's now move to the other side of the world, to Quezon City, which is working a lot on procurement and it has a lever to fight with non-communicable diseases. So I would like to know how Quezon City promotes healthy through public food procurement. Thanks.
Thank you, Filippo. Magandang araw po. That means a wonderful day in the Filipino language. So in the Philippines, 1 of 3 people die from one of the 4 major non-communicable diseases before they reach the age of 70. Heart disease alone is a leading cause of death, where over 200,000 Filipinos each year, and a large share is driven by unhealthy diets. Within our own city workforce, health card data show that most frequently availed tests and treatments address hypertension, diabetes, and fatty liver, all linked to poor nutrition and lifestyle. This made the connection between food choices and public health incredibly impossible to ignore. If we expect our citizens to eat well, we believe government must lead by example. And this is precisely the reason why the Quezon City's healthy public food procurement policy rests on a clear principle. No public funds should be spent on unhealthy food. In 2021, our mayor, whom I am representing today, Mayor Joy Belmonte, signed an executive order number 16, the first policy of its kind in the Philippines, which mandates that all food purchased or served in city-funded events, hospitals, shelters, and even during office meetings meet the Quezon City nutrition standards. These standards limit free sugars, sodium, and unhealthy fats while prioritizing fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. But this guide is more than just a rule book to us. It reshapes how we plan, budget, buy, and serve the food across our entire city government. To operationalize the policy, we built capacity building from ground up. Each year, we run orientations for procurement officers and food suppliers to ensure that nutrition standards are integrated into the budget plan and across city operations. We have 142 local villages, which we call barangays, and they all go through the same procurement process. The same process of scrutiny is done during the procurement process, from conducting public bidding to delivery of food to end users. We also produced a localized meal preparation guide, I think similar to what Milan has, with compliant recipes and a directory of urban farms, helping institutions source fresh local produce directly from growers within our city. In every city-run hospital, shelter home, resident nutritionists monitor compliance and meal quality. And the results are tangible. Over 60% of procured items in our hospitals are now whole foods. Patients are getting larger vegetable portions, fruit in every meal, and less processed meat and sugar. Patient satisfaction in our hospitals has risen to 93%, providing that healthy food can be both nourishing and well-received. But we are also reshaping the broader food environment. Our City Council passed both the Anti-Junk Food and Sugar Drinks Ordinance and the Healthy Diet in Schools Ordinance. These ban the sale and promotion of unhealthy foods and drinks, not only within the schools, but within 100 meters of public schools, protecting children where it matters most. In addition, our City Council has approved the Calorie Labeling Ordinance, the first in the Philippines, which of course many of you most probably know that we inform them of the calorie content and other nutrition information of the food being offered. Critically, the policy strengthens local food policy systems. By prioritizing urban farms as suppliers, we align health, sustainability, and livelihood. Today, more than 1,400 urban farms supply vegetables and greens for public meals, supporting incomes, creating green jobs, and cutting food miles. This approach advances our commitment under the C40 Good Food Cities Declaration, including promoting the planetary health diet and having food-related emissions by 2030. Our progress comes from strong political leadership, evidence-based policy design, and broad stakeholder or community engagement. From the City Council to the departments, our suppliers, to the communities and the farmers. By ensuring that every peso of public spending on food advances health, Quezon City is reducing the NCD burden and setting a national precedent for integrating nutrition into governance. The goal is simple. Make healthy food the default in all our government spending so it becomes easier for our citizens to eat more healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We indeed know that Mayor Belmonte is at the forefront of that, and I am sure that by also becoming now a champion mayor of our initiative, she will be eager, and you all, to share with the other cities your incredible work, also cooperate under an administrative perspective, as the ordinances that you just mentioned are very interesting, because it's not in the schools, but also around the school, protecting children in their food environment around the school. So thank you very much. Let's now move again and change region and continent and go to the Deputy Mayor of Lyon, Gauthier. Lyon has set ambitious goals for renewing the school meals programs between 2022 and 2026, establishing an agricultural commission to tackle key challenges and transferring agricultural supply chain within the region. You have also developed the catering guide that is actually acknowledging the central role of teams that are working in preparing the meals. So can you tell us how your cities has designed this innovation, and what are the key results, but also the next steps? Thank you.
Thank you, Filippo. If you may, I will speak French.
Before to start, I just want to give you an overview of Lyon. There's 25,000 meals served in the canteen every single way. The collective restoration is 50 million euro. It's the biggest market of the municipality. And these 126 restaurants that are served every single day. In reality, there was a revolution of the meals, and 66% of the project comes from biological agriculture, and 1/3 comes from a local area. That is to say, within 20 kilometers around our central kitchen. All the school restaurants are equipped and will be equipped by the end of our mandate in 2026 to recover the bio waste, to revalorize them. That revolution in the meals, in the dishes, could have happened in one single condition, that is to say, to just arrive and to be done thanks to the exchanges and with the children, because they are the heart of the tool, and working with the producer, and this is the meaning of the Agricultural Commission, and with the agencies that work in the canteen and that know the children. It's a meeting every single quarter with the agricultural sectors around the city of Lyon as to improve in the minimum details all the supply chain, either raw products as potatoes or transformed products as the meat, the bread, and see what is missing on the territories, and has the cities with the public money can reinforce the producer and help them and relocalize our nutrition, but also drive them to have an agriculture with less chemical products towards a better ecological production. If there are public forces behind, it's far more easy for the farmers to have some risk and to run the risk, because they will have their mills to serve with these products. Quarter meetings is not easy at the beginning, is when we proved that how important was it was important, and the visibility of it was extremely beneficial for everybody. It means that 65% of agriculture is biologic with local products. Also, these means the people that know children, they taste it, they're what they want, what they look for when they eat. It is not a managerial object, it is an objective that was defined by the agents that serve every single meal, that know the problems that the single canteen has, that know the children, as I was saying. And today, the 100% of the agents that we trained, that is means more than 1,000 people that were trained on this project with the collective restoration guide. It is not only a tool, but it also the pedagogic approach with the process, with the professors at university, with the cooking school, and Milan knows everything because it's something that you do every single day. Kitchen courses, visit on site to allow them to understand how they are grown, how the products are grown, and the children, because these are the children that are involved every single day because they eat in the canteen. They have power with a commission for children. They have the same power as adult people. They taste the dishes before they are served, and if they don't love it, they are not served, and the receipt is just redone. What I want to say to conclude my intervention, this change has been made with everybody. I spoke about figure and agriculture, that we have biological agriculture, but in the children love the dishes that are served. This is the first objective of collective restoration, because the children must eat, must love what they eat. We have an indicator that they have to vote every single dish, and 93% of children declare they loved what they were eating, and they love eating at the canteen. These are extremely important figures for us, encouraging. Those is a transversal job with everybody, with all the services of the Lyon cities. I think there are many people here today that are from the Lyon city, and it's a work that we have to open, that we must open. Thank you very much for the process of the champion major, because it is important to share these best practices on Europe in the rest of the world, because it is the only way to grow, to be developed, and all together sharing a good meal, but even the best practices.
Thank you very much, and made it very clear the points about how we can connect agriculture and our school canteens. And what you said is also very true. There, I see many communalities with in comparison to the Milan model on involving all the schools and the teams that are working behind it. So also thanks for sharing this. Before concluding this session, I would like to call a last video coming from Indonesia. This is the last champion mayor that we have. It's the mayor of Bandung, Muhammad Farah, that is not able to be here, but is also doing a very important work on this field. And this is following the national commitment signed by Indonesia. Now we have cities in the Cities Feeding the Future initiative that are signing urban commitments. So play the video, please.
Dear Mayors, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you. Colleagues from cities around the world and partners of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, I am delighted to send you my warm greetings. My name is Muhammad Farhan. I am the Mayor of City of Bandung, Indonesia. In Bandung, we aspire to provide healthy and nutritious school meals to more than 460,000 students every day. I am honored to join the new cohort of champion mayors for school meals under the Cities Feeding the Future initiative. School meals are one of the key pillars of our city's food system. They invest in our children's health and learning. They support our farmers and encourage sustainable food practices through our Food Smart City initiative. School meals are indeed an investment in our shared future. As we move forward, Bandung remains fully committed to ensuring every school child has access to healthy and nutritious meals. We are building a sustainable food system through our grand design Pangan, a long-term roadmap for food resilience. We continue to expand Buruan Sai, a community-based local food initiative. We are developing healthy school canteens and strengthening partnership both nationally and internationally with networks such as MUFPP, Ricolto, and others. Together, we are nourishing our children, empowering our communities, and shaping a sustainable future for all.
Right. So, to wrap up this session, I am confident that we will start working to create local commitments to the initiative, as the mayor of Semarang already did. So I'm sure we will keep working on that, all of you, and also with the colleagues from Indonesia. Let me close this session by wrapping up the commitment now of the Cities Feeding the Future initiative, which are keep developing the cities case studies together with the research consortium, as Milan did. Then we will continue to enrich the School Meals Coalition database with the data and monitoring initiative. We will then keep working with the cities in ASEAN together with the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs to mobilize fundings to go to the implementation phase of the feasibility studies. And at the end, we will also organize, together with the city of Semarang, the national dialogue with the Indonesian government and the cities of signatory cities in Indonesia in the first quarter of next year. So I think this is an important amount of work. So thanks in advance to the colleagues of the Milan Pact, but also thanks to you for being here and showcasing your important practices on school meals transformation. Please give them a big round of applause. Okay, so the session is now closed. Before giving the floor back to Natasha for some housekeeping information, we might ask you to have a picture together. Right. Can you, all of you, come on stage? Apologies, I forget to have the picture with you, so please come on stage with me.